Hello and welcome once again to the Schaefer two-car garage and small engine shop. Today's patient is my own Stihl FS85, bought in 2000, 23-year-old. This is a Pro Series string trimmer, and it's a real good one. It's a two-stroke, which, as you can see, is in quite a state of disrepair. It had a kind of a tendency to die every once in a while when I was using it. So I've stripped off the muffler, stripped off the carburetor, stripped off the shroud, and it did in fact have some gradu in the carburetor, which I have removed. And I'm going to put it back together here in a minute. And it had blowing a lot of oil out of the exhaust. I'm not sure what that's about, but if there's anything wrong with it, I'll find out about it. But this is a great string trimmer. I really want to make the video about the attachments, and we'll get to the attachments in a minute. Look like this thing's blowing a lot of oil, but here's the spark plug. Whether you'll be able to see this or not, but it's a beautiful light tan color, so there's nothing wrong with the mix going on. Just a little messy on the exhaust side. So I'm going to clean it up, put it back together, and then we'll look at all the different attachments, which is the real reason that I bought the string trimmer, so I could have the attachments. I'll be back with you in a minute. Thought I'd bring you in before I get this thing buttoned up and show you some of the things that makes a commercial mower or string trimmer or blower. You can see inside the exhaust port there a nice two-ring piston, and if you get close enough, which I doubt I can, you can still see all the machining marks on the piston. The machine marks are what hold the oil to the piston, between the piston and the cylinder wall. And 23 years after this thing was made, they're still there. And a good deal of that is due to Stihl oils and this polyisobutylene oil that we made here in Shreveport. That's an ISO LEGD low smoke high performance oil. This is not available, certainly isn't available under this brand. This is something we made for John Deere, and it was sold in the Home Depot for quite a while. Terrific oil. Well, par for the course. You think you've got the beast all back together, and then laying on your workbench or in your parts can is an extra part. Oh man, that means I got to strip off. This is a little piece that secures the gas tank to the starter, which means I've got to pull the starter off, reinstall this piece, put the starter back together. But one of the things that you like about Stihl is if you got a T25 Torx, you can basically disassemble Stihl equipment A to Z. So it won't take me but a second. I'll pull that starter off, stick that little rubber anti-vibe piece back in there, and then we'll see if she's going to run. Well, that little shock absorber there took more time than anticipated, but short the air filter. The beast is back together. Let's see what she'll do. Oh, she won't do anything if the switch is off. Well, I like that. Now, I'm going to turn you back on in a minute, and we'll take a look at all of these accessories for this thing. Laid out on the table here are the reasons that I bought this Stihl string trimmer. And I'll show you what I like and what I don't like. First of all, on the don't like list is this trimmer head. And this is the guard that went with it. Well, this thing weighs a little better than 2 pounds, maybe 2¼ pounds, maybe 2½ or 3 pounds when you put this guard on it. And you can see all the extra metal that's on this thing. And these Stihl auto cut heads, they work good, but they're heavy. And if you think 2 pounds or 2½ pounds is not to be considered, well, have it on the end of your stick all day and see what you think about it. As compared to this head off of a home light, which fits on the Stihl perfectly. It weighs 1¼ pounds. It's got a speed feed head on it, which is much lighter and much easier to fool with than these Stihl auto cuts. The Stihl auto cut, you got to break it apart to put string on it. These things, these speed feed heads, once they're on, they're on. So this would be number 2 on the things I don't like. Number 1 thing that I don't like is the reason that I bought this thing. I could get it with this articulating hedge trimmer, which is very well made, but let me tell you, you got to be King Kong if you're going to use this thing. This thing weighs 5 or 6 pounds, and you've got it on the end of a 4 or 5 foot pole, and let me tell you, it will wear you out. I suspect Stihl has probably figured that out. This is a 2000 model, and it works great. It articulates. You can bend it 45 degrees and cut the top of a line of bushes over your head, but best you be King Kong or Arnold Schwarzenegger if you're going to use this thing all day. Now, that leaves us to the chainsaw attachment. This is a more modern device. This is 2000, this is 2000. This is probably 2015 maybe, I don't know. A friend of mine gave it to me. This pole saw I like. It works great. it's not too heavy. 3 pounds is all it weighs. And it is very well made, a nice order system on it. I've had this thing apart and cleaned it out, but this is a great addition to these Stihl string trimmers. This can go in the dumpster. This, I've got to keep it because I paid $200 for it. And there are some things that you can use this for. If you're cutting something low, it's not that much of a problem. If you're trying to trim bushes over your head, good luck. This is my lineup of Stihl products and byproducts that fit on my Stihl FS85, and I hope this video helps somebody maybe make a buying decision, but thanks for watching.